Millions of years ago, long before humans walked the earth, gigantic creatures roamed the land. Dinosaurs, in their incredible variety, were the rulers of every ecosystem, from dense forests to vast plains. Some were as small as chickens, darting quickly between ferns and shrubs, while others stretched over 50 feet long, moving with deliberate grace across ancient landscapes. Their presence shaped the environment around them, flattening forests as they passed, spreading seeds through their diet, and creating paths that other creatures would follow. Despite their size and power, dinosaurs lived within the rhythms of the earth. They felt the change of seasons, the shifting of climates, and the slow turn of time. Some herds migrated over great distances, moving in harmony with rainfall and the growth of plants. Others thrived in more stable environments, living in dense forests or along riverbanks, where water and food were abundant. What's calming to imagine is not just their grandeur, but their quiet persistence. The enormous Brachiosaurus, stretching its long neck toward treetops, could have moved almost silently, its footsteps cushioned by the soft earth beneath. The gentle sway of its tail, the slow blink of its massive eyes. It all suggests a world in which time itself felt slower, measured by the life cycles of these extraordinary creatures. Even the smaller dinosaurs contributed to the rhythm of their world. Their movements, hunting and foraging created patterns that other animals, plants, and even insects adapted to, forming a delicate, interconnected ecosystem. In imagining this ancient world, we can picture a calm, almost meditative environment where every creature played its part, every tree and fern responded to its surroundings, and life continued in a slow, harmonious flow. Not all dinosaurs were terrifying predators. Many were peaceful, slow-moving herbivores, wandering forests and plains with a quiet presence that shaped the land around them. Imagine the long-necked Diplodocus, its head reaching high into the canopy to graze on treetops, each movement deliberate, measured, and almost meditative. Its massive feet pressed gently into the soil, leaving impressions that would last for millions of years, a silent record of its daily life. These gentle giants weren't just eating, they were maintaining balance in their environment. By browsing on leaves, they helped control plant growth, allowing sunlight to reach smaller plants below. Their droppings fertilized the soil, spreading nutrients that nourished ferns, cycads, and flowering plants, creating vibrant pockets of life. The forest moved with them, swaying as they brushed past trees and bushes, a slow choreography of nature guided by enormous, calm beings. Even their social behavior adds a soothing image. Many herbivores traveled in herds, moving together in coordinated patterns that minimized conflict and maximized safety. They communicated through low-frequency sounds and gentle gestures, keeping in touch across long distances. There's a serene rhythm in imagining a herd of giant dinosaurs migrating along rivers, following the sun, stopping to drink from calm waters, and resting beneath the shade of prehistoric trees. These creatures, though massive, carried a quiet grace. They were reminders that life doesn't always rush. Sometimes it moves in harmony with its surroundings, adapting gently to changes, nourishing the earth, and living in peaceful synchrony with everything around it. Thinking of dinosaurs in this way, as ancient caretakers of forests, plains, and rivers, brings a sense of calm, as though time itself slowed to match their deliberate, steady pace. While we often imagine dinosaurs as massive, roaring giants, many were no bigger than a modern-day chicken. These small dinosaurs lived in the undergrowth, darting between ferns and shrubs, moving quickly and quietly through their forest homes. Their size allowed them to explore spaces that larger dinosaurs could not reach, and their nimble movements created a gentle, almost playful rhythm in the prehistoric landscapes. Tiny dinosaurs like Compsognathus or Microraptor had lives shaped by observation and awareness. They hunted insects, small lizards, and other tiny prey, their delicate steps hardly disturbing the leaves and soil beneath them. Some of these creatures could climb, glide, or leap between branches, their movements precise and fluid, demonstrating an elegance that balanced speed with caution. Even in their smallness, these dinosaurs contributed to the larger ecosystem. They spread seeds, controlled insect populations, and served as prey for larger predators, maintaining the subtle balance that allowed the forest and plains to thrive. Their quiet activity added a layer of sound and motion that complemented the slow, massive presence of the larger herbivores. Imagining these tiny creatures moving through the world invites a sense of calm. Their gentle rustle of leaves, the quick flick of a tail, and the soft rhythmic calls they made all become part of the soundscape of the ancient world. The forest was alive not just with massive giants, but with delicate, attentive life, a symphony of motion and stillness, large and small, all harmonizing within the same ecosystem. Even the smallest dinosaurs remind us that life has room for both quiet observation and subtle action, teaching us that calm persistence can be just as important as grandeur, and that every movement, no matter how small, has its place in the natural rhythm of the world. The skies of the Mesozoic era were filled with graceful winged creatures, ancestors and cousins of modern birds. Pterosaurs, with their wide wingspans and delicate bones, soared above ancient forests and rivers, gliding effortlessly on warm air currents. Watching them move evokes a sense of calm as they ride the wind with smooth, steady motions, scanning the land below with quiet, watchful eyes. These flying dinosaurs weren't just hunters. Many fed on fish, insects, or fruits, contributing to the balance of both aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Their presence in the air connected landscapes, pollinating plants, dispersing seeds, and even warning creatures below of approaching storms or predators. The forest and shoreline moved in harmony with their flight patterns, creating a subtle rhythm between land and sky. Some smaller species flitted between trees, their light bodies allowing them to navigate dense canopies with precision. The gentle flutter of their wings, the soft calls exchanged between members of their species, and the slow arcs they traced through sunlight filtering down to the forest floor all create a peaceful, almost meditative image of prehistoric life. Even the largest pterosaurs, with wings stretching dozens of feet, moved with surprising grace. They rode thermal updrafts with minimal effort, gliding silently over rivers and plains, their eyes scanning for food while maintaining effortless balance. There's a deep serenity in imagining these creatures in flight, as if the world itself slowed to accommodate their gliding motion, creating a vast, peaceful rhythm across the land and sky. In imagining the dinosaurs of the skies, we witness a harmony of air and earth, movement and stillness, vastness and intimacy. The gentle rhythm of wings above a forest, combined with the quiet life below, paints a picture of a world where every creature, from the smallest ground dweller to the largest flyer, contributes to a calm, interconnected balance. Not all dinosaurs lived on land or in the skies. Many made their homes in rivers, lakes, and swamps, moving through water with a slow, steady grace. Think of the massive yet calm creatures like Spinosaurus, which spent much of its time wading through shallows, hunting fish with precise, deliberate movements. The water softened every step, muffling sound creating a serene underwater dance. Aquatic or semi-aquatic dinosaurs shaped their environment quietly. By stirring sediment, they created fertile zones for aquatic plants. Their feeding helped maintain a balance in fish and invertebrate populations, contributing to the gentle rhythm of life beneath the water's surface. Observing them in imagination, one can picture ripples spreading across calm waters as they glide, the sunlight glinting softly on scales, feathers, or skin. Even the smaller aquatic species added to this slow, peaceful cadence. Swimming through reeds, skimming along banks, or diving beneath the surface, they moved with careful awareness, avoiding predators and conserving energy. The sound of splashing, the subtle movement of tails through water, and the quiet shifts in shadows create a soothing picture of prehistoric waters alive yet calm. These water-dwelling dinosaurs remind us that even in immense size, life can be gentle. There's no rush in their movements, no chaos, only a patient, deliberate flow, synchronized with the currents and cycles of their watery world. Imagining them in their habitats brings a sense of peace, as if the rhythm of water itself is teaching us to move with calm precision, to exist in harmony with the flow around us. The gentle giants of rivers, lakes, and swamps carry a quiet majesty, demonstrating that grace does not always require speed and power does not require noise. In their calm presence, we can almost hear the slow heartbeat of prehistoric waters, a lullaby that resonates with the enduring serenity of life on Earth millions of years ago. Dinosaurs weren't just inhabitants of their environments. Many shaped them in ways that quietly influenced entire ecosystems. Imagine the giant herbivores moving through dense forests, gently flattening smaller plants and creating clearings. These paths allowed sunlight to reach the forest floor, encouraging new growth and creating spaces where ferns, flowers, and shrubs could flourish. Every step was part of a subtle choreography of life, where even massive creatures contributed to the balance of the land. Their grazing habits, though sometimes destructive in small patches, supported a broader harmony. By feeding on certain plants, they prevented overgrowth, allowing a diversity of species to thrive. Seeds clung to their bodies, or were dispersed through droppings, carried across the landscape to germinate in new areas. In this way, dinosaurs acted as both gardeners and architects, influencing plant life and helping forests evolve over centuries. Even their social movements added calm to the landscape. Herds migrated together, moving slowly and deliberately, leaving trails for smaller animals to follow. Birds, reptiles, and insects adapted to these patterns, finding shelter and sustenance in the clearings and disturbed soil. The forest was alive with subtle motion, a dance of species synchronized by the presence of these gentle giants. Imagining dinosaurs as forest architects creates a peaceful perspective. Their lives were intertwined with the environment, each action deliberate, measured, and essential. They didn't dominate for dominance's sake. They participated in a rhythm that sustained life, maintained balance, and fostered growth. Even millions of years later, fossils and trace impressions remind us that the calm, patient work of these creatures shaped the earth in ways that are still visible today. Through this lens, the forest is not chaotic, but a symphony of cooperation, orchestrated in part by the dinosaurs' quiet influence. Their presence, movement, and choices created spaces where life could flourish, teaching us that even the largest beings can live in harmony with their world, leaving a lasting legacy of calm, deliberate balance. When we imagine dinosaurs, We often think of loud roars and terrifying cries, yet many of these ancient creatures likely produce soft, gentle sounds, low rumbles, coos, and whistles that communicated without startling the forest around them. The quiet calls of herbivores passing through dense foliage, the soft tapping of claws on soft earth, and the subtle brush of tails against plants created a calming soundscape for all living beings in their habitats. Some dinosaurs likely used infrasound, vibrations too low for human ears, to communicate across long distances. Herds could coordinate their movements without disturbing nearby creatures, creating a rhythm that was both private and harmonious. This silent dialogue allowed families to stay connected while moving slowly through forests, plains, or wetlands, adding to the serene pace of prehistoric life. Even the wings of flying dinosaurs added to this subtle symphony. Pterosaurs glided above trees, their flight smooth and quiet, only the faintest brush of air against their wings breaking the silence. The soft flap of smaller species navigating canopies or skimming over lakes became part of a gentle rhythm that complemented the steady movements of the ground-dwelling giants below. Water-dwelling dinosaurs contributed too, their slow sweeps of tails and gentle dips of snouts, creating ripples that travelled across ponds and rivers. The interaction of creatures with their environment, the rustle of leaves, the plop of water, the sway of ferns, added layers to a prehistoric lullaby, a soundscape of calm, interconnected life. Imagining these sounds allows us to picture a world where life moved with patience, where communication was subtle, and where every creature contributed to a peaceful balance. The dinosaurs' quiet presence, their gentle calls, and the soft rhythms of their movements created an enduring sense of calm, a reminder that even in a world of giants, serenity can exist. Dinosaurs weren't just shapes and shadows. Many likely carried beautiful, subtle colours that helped them blend with their environments. Imagine a small, feathered dinosaur moving through the undergrowth, its plumage a soft mix of greens, browns, and muted yellows. Sunlight filters through the canopy, casting gentle highlights on its feathers, creating a peaceful, almost painterly scene. The forest around it moves slowly with the wind, leaves rustling quietly, while the dinosaur navigates its world with calm awareness. Colour wasn't just for beauty, it was a tool for survival. Patterns on feathers or scales helped dinosaurs hide from predators, signal to others in the herd, or attract a mate without disrupting the quiet flow of life around them. Some species may have shimmered with subtle iridescence, reflecting light in soft, soothing ways that blended into their surroundings rather than startling the forest. Even the largest dinosaurs with muted greens, greys, or earth-tone patterns contributed to the visual harmony of their habitats. Standing or moving slowly in open plains, they became part of the landscape, their forms almost blending into the horizon or shadowed edges of forests. Watching these creatures in imagination brings a sense of calm, a slow visual rhythm as colour and form move together across prehistoric landscapes. Juxtaposing small and large dinosaurs, each with its own delicate pattern or soft hue, creates a world where movement, colour, and light are synchronized in gentle harmony. The prehistoric Earth was alive not just with sound and motion, but with subtle, soothing visuals, a reminder that even in a world of giants, beauty can be quiet, deliberate, and deeply calming. Imagining these colours and patterns encourages a slow, reflective breathing, a moment to observe, and a sense of peace. Life, even millions of years ago, had its own rhythms and aesthetics, inviting calm and wonder in equal measure. Many dinosaurs were migratory, moving across vast landscapes in slow, steady journeys dictated by seasons, rainfall, and the growth of plants. Imagine a herd of gentle giants, like hadrosaurs or sauropods, moving together across open plains. Their pace is deliberate, measured, each step leaving a quiet imprint in soft earth. The herd moves in unison, communicating with subtle calls, vibrations and gestures, creating a rhythm that resonates through the land. Migration wasn't just survival. It was a slow, meditative dance with the environment. Rivers, forests, and hills guided their path, each feature of the landscape met with awareness and calm. Along the way, smaller creatures followed, finding safety and resources in the wake of the massive travellers. This interplay created a balance, a shared flow of life across ecosystems that shifted gently over time. Even the youngest dinosaurs in the herd learned the pace of these journeys. They matched the rhythm of the adults, their movements careful and mindful. There's a soothing quality to imagining young dinosaurs practicing walking, stopping, and resting in harmony with the elders, absorbing the unspoken lessons of patience and timing that ensured survival. At night, the herd would rest together, forming protective circles, breathing slowly and creating a gentle chorus of rustling leaves, distant calls, and the sway of massive tails. The world, though vast and alive, felt calm and synchronized around these creatures, a reminder that even long, purposeful journeys can be gentle, rhythmic, and connected to the broader flow of life. Thinking of dinosaurs in motion, migrating across ancient landscapes, invites a sense of calm reflection. Their deliberate pace, unity, and harmony with the world around them offer a gentle reminder that even in movement, life can be slow, balanced, and deeply serene. Dinosaurs weren't just wandering giants. Many were devoted parents, creating nests and caring for their young in calm, methodical ways. Imagine a small theropod arranging leaves, mud, or vegetation into a protective circle for its eggs. Every movement is gentle, precise, and purposeful, designed to shield new life from the elements and predators. The quiet patience in these actions is a soothing reminder of the continuity of life millions of years ago. Large herbivores, like some sauropods, may have kept watch over their young from a distance, their presence alone offering protection. Some species sat on nests for hours, regulating temperature, adjusting coverings, and monitoring the environment with a patient, watchful gaze. The act of nurturing was slow, deliberate, and deeply connected to the rhythms of the earth. Even the hatchlings contributed to this quiet world. Emerging from eggs, they moved carefully, guided by instinct and gentle parental guidance. Their small footsteps barely disturbed the ground, and their soft calls blended into the forest, plains, or riverbank soundscape. Life continued with measured grace, as each young dinosaur learned the pace, patterns, and subtle signals of its environment. Nesting sites often became hubs of calm activity. Birds, insects, and other small creatures interacted around these zones, contributing to the gentle symphony of prehistoric life. There was a slow, reassuring rhythm in watching generations connect. Parents caring for eggs, hatchlings exploring under watchful eyes, and communities coexisting peacefully. Imagining the care and attention of dinosaur parents brings a sense of calm, as if life itself moves slowly, deliberately, and harmoniously. The quiet patience of these ancient guardians teaches us that even in a world of giants, gentleness, care, and rhythm can guide every step, every breath, and every heartbeat of life. Long after dinosaurs disappeared, their footprints remained, pressed into soft earth, mud, or sand, leaving a silent record of their lives. Imagine walking through a fossilized plain, tracing the enormous impressions of sauropods or the delicate, precise marks of small theropods. Each step tells a story of movement, of pace, of presence, and there's something calming in knowing these creatures once moved exactly where you now stand. Tracks reveal patterns too. Parallel lines suggest herds moving together in quiet unison. Smaller footprints nearby show the care of young following elders. Curved tracks hint at turns, pauses, or foraging behavior. Observing these traces, one can imagine a slow, deliberate rhythm in prehistoric life, each creature participating in the soft choreography of movement, guided by instinct and environment. Even in mud, riverbanks, or along lake shores, dinosaur tracks served a quiet ecological purpose. They created impressions that held water, supporting tiny plants or insects. Some tracks even became microhabitats, small pockets of life nestled within the steps of giants. The forest and plains adapted to these marks, the ecosystem flowing in harmony with the movement of these long-gone inhabitants. There's a profound serenity in imagining dinosaurs through their footprints. The large and small, the predator and the herbivore, each left a gentle imprint in time, a reminder of presence without noise, of movement without chaos. The earth, still holding these memories, whispers a slow, continuous rhythm that stretches across millions of years. Walking among these ancient trails, we're invited to match their pace. Life can move deliberately, gently, and in balance with its surroundings. The footprints of dinosaurs are more than marks in stone. They are a meditation on calm, on rhythm, and on the enduring harmony of life across time. Dinosaurs, like many animals today, often relied on camouflage to survive, blending seamlessly with their environments. Imagine a small dinosaur standing still among ferns and tall grasses, its muted green or brown scales making it almost invisible. Sunlight filters through leaves, dappling its body with soft patterns of light and shadow, creating a scene of quiet serenity where life moves gently, almost unnoticed. Camouflage wasn't only for hiding from predators, it also helped dinosaurs approach prey carefully, move without disturbing delicate ecosystems, and coexist peacefully with neighboring species. Patterns, stripes, and muted tones mirrored the textures of leaves, bark, and soil, creating a visual harmony in the prehistoric landscape. Watching them in your imagination feels like observing a slow, deliberate ballet, each movement measured and mindful. Even the smallest feathered dinosaurs participated in this rhythm of concealment. Their plumage might shimmer subtly in sunlight, reflecting tiny sparks of colour that blend with the forest floor. Larger herbivores, with patterns that broke up their massive outlines, moved with a calm, steady awareness, their presence harmonizing with the gentle swaying of trees and the soft whisper of wind. Camouflage contributed to the balance of entire ecosystems. Predators moved silently, herbivores grazed without chaos, and the forest maintained a quiet, synchronized rhythm. Every creature, through subtle coloration and awareness, became part of a slow, peaceful flow that encouraged coexistence and survival. Imagining dinosaurs in their natural camouflage brings a sense of calm. Life, even millions of years ago, had layers of subtlety and patience, teaching us that harmony comes from blending, observing, and moving with care. The prehistoric world, alive with muted colours and soft patterns, invites reflection, stillness, and a gentle appreciation of the slow, deliberate beauty of existence. Not all dinosaurs had scaly skin. Many, especially smaller species, were covered in delicate feathers that served multiple purposes: insulation, display, and perhaps even subtle communication. Imagine a small feathered dinosaur moving through the underbrush, sunlight glinting softly off its downy plumage. The gentle shimmer of colour and the rhythmic movement of feathers in the breeze create a soothing image, a prehistoric dance that feels almost meditative. Feathers allowed dinosaurs to regulate their body temperature, keeping warm during cooler periods and allowing activity without rush or strain. Birds today are descendants of these feathered dinosaurs, carrying forward the quiet elegance and delicate beauty of their ancestors. Visualizing this continuity connects us to the slow, enduring rhythm of life through millions of years. Even flightless dinosaurs had feathers that moved with every step. A soft rustle accompanied each motion, blending seamlessly with the sounds of wind through ferns, the ripple of water, or the footsteps of larger herbivores. These subtle movements were part of a gentle symphony of life, a world where motion was slow, deliberate, and in harmony with the surrounding environment. Some feathered dinosaurs likely used colour patterns to communicate or attract mates without startling the ecosystem. A flash of muted orange, a faint blue shimmer, or gentle stripes might signal intention or health, while maintaining the quiet, calm rhythm of daily life. Observing them in imagination, we see creatures that are both functional and beautiful, integrated into their environment with patient grace. The dawn of feathers reminds us that evolution is not only a story of survival, but also one of elegance, subtlety, and quiet adaptation. These soft, delicate coverings speak of resilience and harmony, encouraging reflection and stillness. Imagining feathered dinosaurs brings a sense of calm and wonder, a reminder that life, in its many forms, moves thoughtfully, gently, and in balance with the world around it. While many dinosaurs capture our imagination as fast and fierce, a large portion of them moved slowly, deliberately, and with calm awareness. Imagine a massive sauropod, its long neck swaying gently as it grazes treetops, each movement measured and purposeful. The sway of its tail, the careful placement of its enormous feet, and the soft rustle of foliage create a scene of slow, meditative motion, a peaceful rhythm that echoes through ancient forests. These deliberate movements had practical purposes. They conserved energy, allowed careful navigation of diverse terrain, and minimized conflict with other creatures. Herds of herbivores move together in synchronized steps, each individual subtly adjusting its pace to maintain harmony with the group. Even the environment responded. Leaves bent, grasses parted, and small creatures moved aside, all contributing to a slow, interconnected rhythm. Large predators, too, experienced moments of calm. A crouching theropod, waiting silently for prey, demonstrates patience over speed. Its stillness, barely breaking the landscape, is a lesson in quiet observation, showing that power doesn't always announce itself with motion or noise. The predator and prey alike existed in a delicate balance of awareness and timing, each movement part of a subtle, ongoing dialogue with the world around them. Imagining dinosaurs in this way, slow, deliberate, connected, brings a deep sense of tranquility. Life in prehistoric times wasn't only about survival, it was about rhythm, patience, and integration with the environment. Watching these creatures in thought, moving gently through their worlds, invites calm reflection. Slow movements create space for observation, for noticing patterns, for appreciating the quiet beauty of life. Dinosaurs remind us that presence matters more than speed, that deliberate, mindful action is its own kind of power, and that harmony can exist even in a world of giants. Imagine vast, open plains stretching endlessly beneath a soft sky, dotted with towering herbivorous dinosaurs like Triceratops or Ankylosaurus. Their movements are slow and deliberate, grazing among ferns and low shrubs. Each step presses gently into the earth, leaving impressions that will last for millennia, a quiet record of their steady passage. The rhythm of their walking, in herds or alone, brings a soothing cadence to the prehistoric landscape. Even their size didn't make them intrusive. These dinosaurs moved with calm awareness, careful to avoid obstacles, to coexist with other creatures, and to maintain the balance of the ecosystem. Their grazing-shaped plant growth, allowing sunlight to reach lower vegetation, encouraging the forest and grasslands to flourish. The gentle sway of tails, the brushing of horns against leaves, and the soft shuffle of massive feet created subtle sounds, a quiet symphony in the windswept plains. Social herds maintained harmony through quiet communication. Low grunts, gentle nudges, and visual cues ensured coordination without disturbance. Calves followed their parents closely, learning the measured pace and rhythm of life in these wide-open spaces. The herd itself became a moving part of the landscape, flowing in harmony with the wind, the water, and the sun. Imagining these peaceful giants across ancient plains invites a sense of calm. Their presence is reassuring, a reminder that life can exist on a grand scale without chaos. Even in a world dominated by massive creatures, there is balance, rhythm, and a patient flow that connects every living thing to the wider ecosystem. The gentle giants of plains teach us that serenity can exist alongside power, and that even immense beings can move with intention, care, and grace. Their world, though long gone, whispers of peace and steady presence, inviting us to breathe slowly, observe patiently, and feel connected to the enduring pulse of life. As the sun sets over prehistoric landscapes, dinosaurs enter a quieter rhythm. The blazing light softens, shadows stretch, and the forest, plains, or riverbanks transform into a serene, gentle world. Nocturnal or crepuscular species awaken, moving softly through the undergrowth, guided by subtle sounds, scents, and vibrations. Even massive herbivores slow their grazing, resting in calm clusters, creating a soothing pattern of stillness and slow movement. Night brought its own gentle sounds. The rustle of leaves in the wind, the trickle of streams, and the distant calls of dinosaurs create a peaceful symphony. Smaller creatures, insects, tiny dinosaurs, and amphibians add quiet rhythms, while larger predators move with stealth and intention, their presence felt rather than heard. The balance between rest and activity forms a gentle cadence, a nighttime heartbeat of life. Stars shimmered above, reflected in calm waters, and the moonlight cast soft illumination across leaves and ferns. Shadows of trees and dinosaurs stretched in silver hues, adding a quiet beauty to the landscape. This interplay of light and movement invites calm observation, a meditation on the cyclical nature of day and night, life and rest. Even in darkness, dinosaurs maintained harmony. Herds huddled together for protection, communicating through soft rumbles and vibrations. Flighted species rested in trees or glided silently in search of nocturnal prey. Every creature participated in the rhythm of night, a shared awareness that ensured survival while preserving peace. Imagining dinosaurs at night allows us to experience their world in slow motion. Life moved with awareness, balance, and calm. The ancient night, alive with subtle activity yet suffused with serenity, becomes a gentle lullaby, a reminder that even in a world of giants, darkness carries quiet, reflective beauty. In the heat of prehistoric days, dinosaurs often gathered near rivers, lakes, and watering holes. These serene spaces became centers of calm interaction, where creatures of all sizes came to drink, bathe, or rest. Imagine a herd of gentle herbivores bending their massive necks to sip from a still lake, while smaller dinosaurs dart cautiously along the edges, their movements careful and deliberate. Ripples spread slowly across the water, reflecting the sky, trees, and shadows of nearby creatures in a peaceful, ever-changing dance. The act of drinking or bathing was slow and meditative. Dinosaurs positioned themselves carefully to avoid collisions, shared space with surprising cooperation, and paused frequently to listen to their surroundings. Birds, insects, and even small aquatic animals coexisted in these areas, adding layers of subtle motion and quiet sounds, a gentle symphony of life in perfect balance. Larger predators approached water sources with caution, often waiting silently or observing from a distance. Their presence was felt rather than loud, part of the calm rhythm of the ecosystem. Even the interplay between predator and prey was measured, a subtle dance guided by instinct and awareness, not rush or panic. Watering holes also fostered reflection. Shimmering surfaces mirrored sunlight, clouds, and the creatures themselves, creating a visual meditation of movement, light, and form. The world slowed here, every action deliberate, every ripple gentle, every breath in harmony with the surroundings. Imagining dinosaurs near water teaches a lesson in patience and presence. Life, even for giants, could pause, observe, and move thoughtfully. The calm interaction between species, the gentle play of light on water, and the soft sounds of nature form a timeless meditation, a quiet reminder that harmony is always possible, even in a world ruled by the extraordinary. Beneath the towering trees and enormous legs of dinosaurs, the forest floor was its own calm and intricate world. A layer of soft ferns, fallen leaves, and ancient mosses cushioned every step, muffling sound and creating a constant earthy scent of life and renewal. Smaller creatures, early mammals, insects, and tiny reptiles moved quietly among the roots, each part of a slow, thriving system of balance and decay. The ground itself breathed. Moist soil soaked in rainfall, releasing mist that glowed under filtered sunlight. Fern fronds swayed gently as dinosaurs passed, their motion setting off waves of stillness and subtle movement that rippled through the ecosystem. Even the vibrations of footsteps were part of nature's communication, signals that travelled through the earth, alerting, guiding, connecting life forms in quiet dialogue. Larger dinosaurs, especially herbivores, played an important role here. As they walked, their massive feet pressed seeds deep into the soil, helping plants spread and regrow. Each heavy footstep was a mark of creation, not destruction. New life emerged from their paths, a cycle of pressure, renewal, and balance that defined the forest's silent rhythm. At dawn and dusk, mist would roll low across the ground, curling around trunks and stones. The forest seemed to exhale, releasing its day's energy into the air. Small creatures emerged to forage, and the gentle rustling of their movements blended with the soft echo of dripping water. It was peaceful, timeless, a living meditation that pulsed beneath the surface of every step. The forest floor reminds us that even in the presence of giants, tranquility thrives in small spaces. Every fallen leaf, every drop of dew, and every quiet movement contributed to a deeper stillness. proof that calm doesn't need silence. It just needs rhythm. Beneath the towering trees and enormous legs of dinosaurs, the forest floor was its own calm and intricate world. A layer of soft ferns, fallen leaves, and ancient mosses cushioned every step, muffling sound and creating a constant earthy scent of life and renewal. Smaller creatures, early mammals, insects, and tiny reptiles, moved quietly among the roots, each part of a slow, thriving system of balance and decay. The ground itself breathed. Moist soil soaked in rainfall, releasing mist that glowed under filtered sunlight. Fern fronds swayed gently as dinosaurs passed, their motion setting off waves of stillness and subtle movement that rippled through the ecosystem. Even the vibrations of footsteps were part of nature's communication, signals that travelled through the earth, alerting, guiding, connecting life forms in quiet dialogue. Larger dinosaurs, especially herbivores, played an important role here. As they walked, their massive feet pressed seeds deep into the soil, helping plants spread and regrow. Each heavy footstep was a mark of creation, not destruction. New life emerged from their paths, a cycle of pressure, renewal, and balance that defined the forest's silent rhythm. At dawn and dusk, mist would roll low across the ground, curling around trunks and stones. The forest seemed to exhale, releasing its day's energy into the air. Small creatures emerged to forage, and the gentle rustling of their movements blended with the soft echo of dripping water. It was peaceful, timeless, a living meditation that pulsed beneath the surface of every step. The deeper layers of the forest were alive with hidden life. Burrowing animals created tunnels that aerated the soil, while decomposing plants enriched it with nutrients. Every fallen log became a home, every patch of moss a miniature landscape of survival. The air was thick but gentle, humming faintly with the vibration of distant footsteps and the quiet clicking of insects living their brief but purposeful lives. When rain came, the entire forest floor transformed. Droplets pattered softly against broad leaves and pooled in small depressions. Dinosaurs, large and small, continued their paths through the mist, steam rising from their bodies as the cool rain met their warm skin. The rhythmic sound of rain mixed with the deep, slow breaths of the forest, a harmony of sound and motion that brought life to everything it touched. And after the rain, sunlight filtered back through the canopy, scattering beams of gold and green across the glistening ground. Water drops clung to leaves and scales alike, shining like jewels. The forest glowed with a soft luminescence, the kind that made time feel irrelevant, as though every living thing existed only in the present moment, at peace within the pulse of nature. The forest floor beneath the dinosaurs wasn't a place of chaos or fear, but of connection. Every sound was soft, every movement deliberate, every breath part of a larger rhythm. It was a world that whispered rather than roared, reminding us that even in the age of giants, serenity existed underfoot, steady, patient, and everlasting. There's something hauntingly peaceful about imagining the wind that moved through the world of dinosaurs. It wasn't silent, but it wasn't loud either. It carried the weight of life. Across open plains, over thick canopies, and through deep canyons, the wind became a storyteller, whispering through leaves, brushing against scales, and shifting the scent of ancient plants across great distances. It connected everything, trees, water, soil, and living creatures, in one invisible thread of rhythm and calm. The wind carried stories of movement. A herd of sauropods passing miles away could be felt before seen, their slow gait pushing soft waves of air through the landscape. The sound wasn't harsh, more like a steady pulse, as if the earth itself breathed in sync with them. Each gust stirred the branches, causing sunlight to flicker gently between the leaves, dappling the backs of grazing dinosaurs in warm, uneven light. It was nature's quiet symphony, written not in sound but in sensation. At higher elevations, where pterosaurs glided with vast leathery wings, the air took on a different texture. It flowed against their bodies like silk, smooth and endless. These prehistoric flyers moved with grace, relying on subtle shifts of the wind to stay aloft, barely flapping, trusting the invisible force beneath them. Their shadows drifted silently across cliffs and valleys, moving like dreams through the prehistoric sky. Even in dense forests where trees stood packed and ancient, the wind found pathways to dance through. It rustled canopies in layers, like waves rippling across a green ocean. The sound of the wind against ferns and tall grasses blended with the deep resonance of the land, creating a soft, ongoing hum that could lull even the most restless spirit into stillness. The dinosaurs didn't fight the wind. They moved with it, through it, as part of it. When storms gathered, the rhythm changed but never lost its calm. Heavy clouds rolled in, their undersides glowing faintly as lightning flickered in the distance. Thunder rumbled softly, not a roar, but a deep, slow exhale from the sky. The wind thickened, brushing through the scales and feathers of dinosaurs as they sought shelter or stood still, letting rain wash over them. The smell of petrichor filled the air, earthy and grounding, as if nature itself was taking a deep breath. Even in moments of great change, the shifting of seasons, migrations, or volcanic rumblings, the wind remained a constant presence. It moved around every obstacle, carrying seeds, spores, and stories to new lands. It linked generations of creatures who would never meet, passing fragments of the past into the present through scent and motion. The whisper of ancient winds reminds us that peace doesn't always mean stillness. Sometimes it's movement in balance, motion with purpose. The same air that brushed against the scales of dinosaurs now fills our lungs. The same rhythm, the same invisible current, continues to flow. It's the Earth's softest reminder that time changes everything, but the breath of the planet, gentle, eternal, alive, remains. Before cities, before the hum of machines, before even the first human heartbeat, Earth was a vast canvas of green, lush, humid, and alive with ancient rhythm. The world of dinosaurs was wrapped in an endless forest that stretched across continents, so thick and vibrant that sunlight reached the ground only in golden fragments. The air itself felt alive, heavy with moisture and the scent of growing things. Every breath carried the essence of ferns, resin, and warm soil. The trees were titans, ancient conifers, cycads, and towering ferns rising like green pillars into the mist. Their trunks were massive and rough, coated in moss and creeping vines. Branches intertwined far above, forming a living roof that swayed gently with the wind. Beneath this canopy, dinosaurs moved slowly, their silhouettes gliding through shafts of filtered light. The forest wasn't just their home, it was part of them. Each movement, each sound, each breath was synchronized with the living heartbeat of the land. Imagine the slow creak of branches bending under the weight of the wind, the quiet flutter of prehistoric insects weaving through the light. Drops of dew clung to the edges of leaves like crystal beads. Every detail was patient, deliberate, the kind of peace that doesn't demand silence, only awareness. Even predators here weren't symbols of violence, but of balance. They moved with quiet precision, understanding that nothing in nature rushed without reason. Rivers cut through these green expanses, carving paths of silver through jade. Dinosaurs gathered along their banks, drinking deeply, their reflections rippling softly across the water. The gentle sound of running streams and the deep exhale of warm air from the forest blended together into something ancient, something timeless. It was the earth's own lullaby, steady, soft, and eternal. And when night fell, the forest didn't sleep. It simply transformed. Bioluminescent insects glowed faintly in the underbrush, lighting trails with soft pulses of green and blue. The air cooled, and the sounds of the forest slowed to a hush. The occasional rustle of leaves, the far-off call of a nocturnal creature, the steady drip of condensation from high branches. Even darkness felt alive, comforting rather than cold. There's something deeply grounding about imagining that world, untouched, untamed, yet perfectly balanced. The earth was abundant, generous, and self-sustaining. It didn't rush to evolve, didn't compete against time. It simply existed, growing, breathing, repeating its quiet cycles through centuries. The age of dinosaurs wasn't just an age of monsters. It was an age of harmony. Every blade of grass, every gust of wind, every ripple in the water carried the same quiet message. That life moves best when it moves slowly. That peace isn't found in stillness alone, but in rhythm, the heartbeat of an endless green planet, pulsing beneath every step that ever walked its soil. Sometimes the mind doesn't wander far, it just loops, like a song stuck on repeat, except it's a memory or a feeling that keeps playing. You might find yourself dreaming of something that happened years ago, not because it's important, but because it still hasn't left your nervous system. That's the thing about dreams. They don't always speak in sentences, they speak in symbols. They take your emotions, your fears, your small daily thoughts, and remix them into something you can finally feel without words. It's your brain's version of emotional detox. Ever notice how after certain dreams you wake up lighter? Like you've had a long cry without even shedding a tear? That's your subconscious doing cleanup. It's emptying old drawers, closing browser tabs that have been open for years. Even those weird dreams where nothing makes sense, like you're running from a shadow or you're late for a class that doesn't exist, they're still you trying to solve something, heal something, or prepare for something you haven't even lived yet. When you dream, your body may be resting, but your mind is building bridges between memories, connecting dots you didn't even know were related. That's why you sometimes wake up with random clarity about something small, like you suddenly know what you need to say to someone or what decision to make. Dreams don't tell you what to do, they help you see. They whisper solutions through chaos. And maybe that's why it's so hard to fully describe a dream, because they're not meant to be explained, they're meant to be felt, like music, like art. You can't translate them without losing something. Every dream leaves a residue, a faint emotional fingerprint that follows you into the morning. That's why sometimes you wake up happy, sad, or just different without knowing why. It's your mind saying, "We did some work last night." So the next time you wake from something strange or vivid, don't try to decode it immediately. Just feel it. Sit with it. Maybe it's your subconscious giving you a message your conscious mind wasn't ready to handle. Dreams are your inner world rehearsing for the real one, and the more you listen, the clearer that world becomes. There's something magical about how dreams can bend reality so casually, like gravity never existed and time's just a rumour. You could be walking through your old school one second, and suddenly you're floating through space the next. No transition, no logic. But that's the beauty of it. Your brain isn't trying to follow rules. It's finally free from them. Every dream is like a sandbox where your mind tests out impossible versions of life. It's imagination at its most raw. When you're awake, logic filters everything. You question, you edit, you explain. But when you're asleep, the filters are off. You can talk to someone who's no longer alive, visit places that never existed, and still feel everything like it's real. Because in that moment, it is real. To your brain, to your emotions, to your nervous system. It's the only place where you can face your fears safely or live out your deepest what-ifs. Ever dream of falling endlessly? That free-fall feeling that jolts you awake, it's not random. It's your body syncing up with your brainwaves as your consciousness slips between stages of sleep. But symbolically, it's often more than that. Falling dreams tend to show up when you feel out of control, like something in your waking life is uncertain. Your brain creates that feeling so you can face it, but safely, like a simulator for chaos. And then there are the flying dreams, the opposite of falling. They come when you finally let go of something, when your subconscious decides to stop gripping so tightly. It's your inner freedom taking shape. The air feels lighter, your movement feels limitless, and suddenly you realize you're not scared of falling anymore. That's your mind's quiet victory dance. Dreams reflect our mental state in ways words can't capture. That's why certain themes repeat during specific chapters of life. The same way your playlist changes as you grow, so do your dreams. As you evolve, your subconscious rewrites its visuals. It's a constant remix of who you've been, who you are, and who you're becoming. So yeah, it's wild. Every night your brain writes, directs, and stars in its own film, all to help you make sense of reality. No cameras, no script, no limits. Just raw imagination doing its thing while you rest. It's strange how dreams can take your fears and flip them into something cinematic, like your brain's trying to show you a trailer for what's really going on underneath. You could be running from something in the dark, heart pounding, but what you're really running from might not even be a monster. It could be a feeling, guilt, regret, pressure. The dream just dresses it up in something dramatic so you'll finally notice it. Your subconscious doesn't speak in words. It speaks in visuals, symbols, and emotions that hit harder than any sentence ever could. And the wildest part? You can't lie to yourself in a dream. No matter how hard you try to fake strength or act unbothered during the day, the moment you sleep, your mind calls you out. It shows you what you're actually carrying around. That's why dreams can feel so personal, because they're honest. Unfiltered honesty, projected in high definition, right behind your eyelids. Then there are lucid dreams, the cheat code version of sleeping. That moment you realize, wait, this isn't real. And instead of waking up, you take control. You start flying, summoning people, building worlds. It's like having creative freedom over your own universe. But it's deeper than fun. It's self-awareness in its purest form. You're literally aware inside your subconscious, steering the dream from within. Most people chase that state because it feels like magic. But at its core, it's just the mind realizing it has power over its own fears and stories. Lucid dreamers sometimes use that state for healing, facing trauma, rewriting memories, or just calming anxiety that won't shut up during the day. Because when you're conscious inside your own dream, you can walk into the fire and know you won't get burned. You can confront the thing that usually makes you flinch, and instead of running, you stay. And that small act of control carries into your waking life too. You start realizing that maybe you're not as powerless as your thoughts make you feel. That's what makes dreams sacred in a way. They're not just random electrical activity or brain static. They're a mirror, a message, sometimes even a teacher. Every time you dream, you're connecting with the deepest version of yourself, the part that doesn't talk much during the day, but sees everything. And the more you pay attention, the clearer that language gets. You start recognizing patterns, noticing moods, understanding why certain things show up again and again. It's like learning to read a secret diary that only your mind knows how to write. Sleep isn't just rest, it's education. Every night your mind takes everything you've felt, seen, or thought during the day and files it, rewrites it, or plays it back in a way that teaches you something subtle without even waking you up. Dreams are the classroom, but the teacher isn't strict. It's gentle, patient, and never shouts. You don't realize you're learning until you wake up with that quiet, unshakable feeling that something shifted inside. Think about the times you've woken from a dream feeling lighter, like some invisible weight you didn't know you carried is gone. That's your mind giving you a private session on letting go. Even stressful dreams, the kind that jerk you awake, serve a purpose. They show you what your brain is sorting through, what your emotions are wrestling with, so you can start fresh in the morning. Sleep is like a nightly reset button, a soft reboot for your inner world. Your brain also practices solutions while you sleep. Those confusing problems, emotional tangles, or creative roadblocks you face during the day, the night works quietly on them. You might wake up with a sudden insight, a lyric, a solution, or a phrase that seemed to appear from nowhere. That's the subconscious doing the heavy lifting while your conscious mind rests. It's patient, persistent, and completely unassuming. Even the seemingly random or bizarre images in dreams are teaching tools. They stretch your imagination, your empathy, and your ability to hold paradoxes. They show you that your mind can handle more than you think, that it can process vast emotional landscapes while you're completely unaware. It's a gentle reminder that life is bigger than the narrow lens we usually operate through. And the calmest lesson of all, that there's a rhythm to everything. Your heartbeat, your breath, your cycles of sleep and wakefulness, the patterns of your dreams, they all move together. Even chaos in dreams has a rhythm, and noticing it can bring a strange sense of peace. You realize that beneath the surface of everyday stress, there's a slow, steady pulse guiding you. A pulse older than you, older than anyone you know, and entirely yours. Sleep teaches patience, introspection, and trust in yourself. It whispers, you are learning, you are healing, you are enough. Every night in the quiet, gentle folds of dreams, that truth is repeated endlessly, softly, like the tide lapping against the shore, always there, always calm, always steady. Dreams exist in a space where memory and imagination meet, blending into something entirely new. The faces of people you've forgotten might reappear alongside landscapes you've never seen, forming stories your conscious mind could never invent. It's the brain's way of exploring endless possibilities, stitching together fragments of past experiences with the creativity of pure thought. This fusion is gentle, quiet, almost meditative, like watching water ripple in sunlight, each wave reflecting something different yet familiar. Sometimes dreams feel so vivid that when you wake, the line between reality and imagination lingers. A smell, a colour, or a sensation can pull you back to the scene as if it's part of your day-to-day life. That lingering presence is your subconscious reminding you that your mind is constantly active, connecting dots and forming bridges between what has been, what is, and what could be. Even the oddest scenarios carry meaning. A staircase that leads nowhere, a conversation that never happened, a sudden flight across a city skyline. All of it is your brain rehearsing, problem-solving, and exploring emotions in a safe, controlled space. The bridges built in dreams aren't only about logic or memory, they're also emotional pathways. A conflict from weeks ago might appear in disguise, teaching you compassion or patience. A joyful memory could be amplified in dream form, reminding you of feelings you've lost sight of. Even the most fleeting dreams leave traces, subtle emotional imprints that influence your mood, decisions, and creativity the next day. What's remarkable is that you don't need to control these bridges to benefit from them. Simply observing, noticing, and allowing them to unfold is enough. Dreams offer a playground for growth, reflection, and understanding. They're gentle nudges from your subconscious saying, "Here's what you've learned. Here's what you're capable of. Here's what you might discover if you stay open." And the serenity of it all, the quiet magic of your mind working tirelessly behind the veil of sleep, is a reminder that rest is never wasted. Every night, your brain rebuilds connections, reinforces learning, and gives you insight without effort or strain. It's a calm, patient teacher, always present, always subtle, always there to guide you through the vast, unseen architecture of thought and imagination. Time in dreams doesn't obey clocks or calendars. Minutes stretch into hours, and hours condense into fleeting seconds. A single scene can feel like an entire lifetime, while a long chase or conversation might pass in the blink of an eye. This fluidity is part of what makes dreams so comforting. They exist outside the rigid demands of waking life. In dreams, you can explore, reflect, and process without pressure, allowing your mind to drift along its natural rhythm. This flexible time gives space for emotions to unfold naturally. Fear, joy, sorrow, or excitement are not constrained by social norms or daily schedules. They have room to breathe, expand, and release. A small worry can be replayed, examined, and softened. A fleeting happiness can linger, lingering like sunlight on leaves after a cloud passes. Your subconscious uses this elastic flow to balance, reorganize, and harmonize emotional patterns, quietly tuning the mind while you sleep. Dreams also allow us to revisit moments from the past, but not as fixed recordings. Instead, memory bends, reshapes, and blends with imagination. You might relive a childhood playground, but the sky is more vivid, the colours more intense, and the friends long gone appear with new voices and personalities. This gentle remixing isn't random. It's your mind reinforcing emotional lessons and connections, creating a safe space to understand what might have felt overwhelming or incomplete in waking life. Even fantastical dreams, where humans talk to animals, cities float in the sky, or impossible landscapes unfold, serve the same purpose. They expand the boundaries of thought and feeling, letting your subconscious explore freedom, creativity, and problem-solving in ways your waking mind often resists. Each dream is a soft meditation, a moment to practice empathy, reflection, and adaptability in a world of infinite possibility. And the calmest aspect of all is that these processes happen quietly. There's no urgency, no deadline, no need to act. Your brain moves through this flow with patience and care, guiding you through landscapes of emotion, memory, and imagination. Dream time is a gentle current, carrying you through the night with a steady, unspoken rhythm until you awaken carrying pieces of its quiet wisdom into the day. While we rest, something remarkable unfolds beneath the surface. Your brain becomes an architect, quietly redesigning the connections between thoughts, memories, and emotions. Neurons fire in gentle patterns, weaving intricate webs that strengthen what is important, discard what is unnecessary, and experiment with what might be possible. It's subtle work, invisible to the eye, yet profoundly influential, like unseen gardeners tending an enormous, endless forest of ideas. Dreams are the playground for these architects. Every image, every sensation, every sudden plot twist is part of a larger design. They test scenarios, replay emotions, and explore possibilities. A conversation with someone who isn't there, a journey across impossible landscapes, or a challenge that never happened. All of it helps your mind rehearse, reflect, and reimagine your world. There's no rush, no judgment, only exploration. Even seemingly chaotic or nonsensical dreams serve a purpose. That bizarre scene, where physics bends and logic dissolves, is your brain examining patterns, stretching creative muscles, and making connections between disparate ideas. It's solving problems you didn't even realize existed. That's why sometimes you wake with sudden clarity or insight, as if the solution has always been there, quietly waiting for you in the architecture of sleep. The gentle rhythm of sleep also nurtures emotional healing. Dreams allow you to process tension, fear, or grief without the intensity of the waking world. A difficult experience may replay, softened by imagination, allowing understanding, compassion, or resolution to grow. Your mind integrates experiences into a balanced whole, leaving you lighter, calmer, and more grounded by morning. And while the architects of sleep work silently, their impact is profound. Every night, without effort or awareness, your mind repairs, organizes, and innovates. It's a quiet miracle, a patient, unassuming process that shapes who you are, who you might become, and how you perceive the world around you. Sleep reminds you that even in stillness, there is immense activity, purpose, and growth, quietly, gently, and beautifully orchestrated. In dreams, reflection isn't deliberate, it's natural. Your mind wanders through moments you've lived, places you've seen, and feelings you've felt, gently holding them up to the light like a crystal catching the sun. You don't consciously analyze. Instead, your subconscious guides you, letting emotions and memories mingle, shift, and settle. It's a quiet kind of meditation, one that unfolds effortlessly while your body rests. Even ordinary dreams carry subtle reflection. A walk down a familiar street, a conversation with a friend, or revisiting a childhood room can evoke emotions long buried. Your brain layers these experiences with imagination, sometimes blending the past with the present, creating a soft rehearsal for understanding yourself more deeply. The process is never rushed. It's patient, methodical, and incredibly gentle. Dreams also help you anticipate possibilities. Scenarios that never happened, outcomes you've imagined, or challenges you fear may appear in dream form, allowing you to explore responses safely. It's like mental practice, moving through difficult decisions or emotions without the pressure of real-life consequences. Each symbolic choice or action builds understanding, resilience, and insight, often unnoticed until morning. The quiet magic of reflection in dreams extends beyond problem-solving. It nurtures empathy, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. By witnessing experiences from multiple angles, even impossible or fantastical ones, your subconscious strengthens the ability to process and respond in waking life. It's learning without instruction, growth without effort. And the serenity of it all is profound. Reflection in dreams happens without force or expectation. It's a soft, natural current, flowing through your mind and emotions, settling tensions, revealing truths, and opening doors to understanding you didn't know were there. Sleep teaches you that reflection doesn't need urgency, that wisdom can emerge in quiet spaces, and that your inner world is always working gently, patiently, to guide you toward balance. Dreams communicate in a language entirely their own. It isn't made of words, grammar, or logic. It's made of sensations, images, colours, and emotions that convey meaning without forcing interpretation. A simple touch, a fleeting colour, or a sound that only exists in your mind can carry profound significance. Your subconscious speaks softly, leaving room for understanding in your own time, in your own way. This subtle language often surprises us. You may wake recalling a symbol that doesn't make literal sense, a staircase leading nowhere, a river flowing uphill, a bird speaking in riddles. But the feeling it evokes is clear. Curiosity, wonder, relief, fear or joy may linger long after the dream fades. In this way, your subconscious becomes both poet and storyteller, weaving lessons and reflections into your inner narrative without disrupting your conscious life. The beauty of dream language is its universality. Even if two people share no experiences in common, the same emotional resonance can appear in their dreams. Joy feels like warmth, fear like weight, and freedom like soaring through endless sky. This is why dreams can feel so familiar yet so strange, both intimate and expansive. It's the mind's way of showing connections between self, memory, and imagination in ways words cannot capture. Dreams also allow emotions to be experienced fully and safely. Anxiety, sadness, longing, or happiness can play out vividly without consequence, giving your mind a space to explore and release tension. In doing so, the subconscious teaches patience, understanding, and emotional balance. Even the seemingly nonsensical elements of dreams serve a purpose. They are the metaphors your mind chooses to illustrate experiences too complex or subtle for waking thought. And what's remarkable is that this quiet language continues to influence waking life. A dream may guide your intuition, spark creativity, or clarify feelings you couldn't access consciously. By paying attention, even just a little, you begin to read the gentle signs your mind has been leaving all along. Dreams are not random. They're intentional, subtle, and deeply intelligent. They are the quiet architects of understanding, shaping your perceptions and guiding you through life, one whispered image at a time. Night has a rhythm all its own. It softens the edges of reality, blurring boundaries between what is and what could be. And within that rhythm, dreams serve as gentle guides, leading you through landscapes both familiar and strange. They navigate the contours of your thoughts, the valleys of your emotions, and the peaks of your imagination, all without urgency or expectation. In this way, sleep is less about escape and more about quiet navigation, a tender journey through the depths of your own mind. During dreams, your mind often returns to themes, patterns, and feelings you've carried unconsciously. A repeated image or recurring scenario isn't random. It's a soft signal, a nudge to notice something your waking consciousness may have overlooked. Perhaps it's a relationship that needs attention, a creative idea that deserves exploration, or a fear that must be acknowledged. Dreams distill complex emotions into symbols, making the intangible visible, the invisible tangible. It's subtle, quiet, and profoundly effective. Even the most fantastical dreams, where impossible landscapes stretch into infinity, and logic bends effortlessly, serve a purpose. They expand the mind's capacity to imagine, to empathize, and to problem solve. A city floating in the sky, or a conversation with someone long gone may feel absurd, yet it strengthens neural connections and emotional awareness, creating a bridge between inner understanding and waking life. It's practice without pressure, rehearsal without consequence. Dreams also give the mind space to release tension. Worries, frustrations, and anxieties can play out safely, allowing resolution, insight, or clarity to emerge naturally. Every scene, no matter how strange, contributes to balance and harmony. Nighttime becomes a canvas where your subconscious weaves calm, wisdom, and guidance into the fabric of your mind. And the most serene aspect of all, you don't have to control it. You simply allow yourself to flow along with the gentle current of sleep, trusting that your mind is working, healing, and guiding quietly. By morning, the wisdom embedded in dreams lingers, subtle yet undeniable. A new perspective, a creative spark, or an emotional lightness follows you into the day, proof that the night's quiet guidance is always at work, patiently shaping who you are and who you are becoming. As you sleep, the mind begins to reveal patterns that often go unnoticed in waking life. These are not patterns of thought in the usual sense. They are the subtle arrangements of emotion, memory, and imagination, layered together like threads in a vast tapestry. Dreams allow these threads to weave freely, without interference from logic or expectation, creating designs that are both meaningful and mysterious. It is in this quiet weaving that the mind processes complexity, balancing feelings and experiences while you rest. Even seemingly random dreams contribute to these patterns. A sudden journey across a desert, a conversation with someone who isn't there, or a colour that seems impossibly bright. Each is a piece of a greater structure. Your brain is testing possibilities, exploring emotions, and practicing resilience. It is learning to recognize connections between disparate events, to anticipate outcomes, and to reinforce understanding, all while you remain completely unaware. These hidden patterns also allow for emotional integration. Difficult experiences, unspoken fears, and lingering regrets often emerge in dream form, softened and symbolized. By engaging with them in this way, your subconscious teaches you patience and acceptance. Joy, curiosity, and wonder are amplified, while tension and anxiety can be diffused. The result is a quiet internal alignment, a sense of balance that carries into waking life, often unnoticed yet deeply felt. Dreams are also laboratories for creativity. Scenarios that defy the laws of physics, encounters with imaginary beings, and journeys through impossible landscapes encourage the mind to think expansively. Problem-solving occurs without conscious effort. Innovative connections are formed, often providing inspiration the next day. By embracing these nightly explorations, you give yourself access to a form of intelligence and insight that can't be learned through conventional study or reflection. And the most remarkable part, none of this requires force. The mind works patiently, subtly, and tirelessly throughout the night. Every dream, every image, every sensation contributes to a quiet internal order, strengthening your understanding of yourself and your world. Sleep is a masterclass in self-organization, a gentle system of growth and reflection that operates continuously. By simply allowing yourself to rest, you participate in this process, and with each awakening, you carry a fragment of its wisdom into the day. Dreams are not just stories, they are guides for the inner landscape of emotion. While you sleep, your mind gently explores feelings that are too complex, too subtle, or too buried to confront in waking life. Joy, sorrow, longing and fear appear in dream form, sometimes disguised, sometimes vivid, but always purposeful. These nightly journeys provide an unspoken curriculum for understanding yourself, quietly teaching lessons that unfold slowly, subtly, and with remarkable patience. Even recurring dreams serve a deliberate function. Those images or scenarios that reappear are the mind's way of drawing attention to unresolved emotions, repeated patterns, or important memories. Perhaps it's a conversation you haven't fully processed, a decision you've been avoiding, or a personal insight waiting to be realized. The dream presents these gently, without urgency, allowing reflection in a safe and fluid environment. Over time, repeated engagement with these scenarios leads to understanding, clarity, and emotional equilibrium. Fantastical or impossible dreams also carry profound meaning. Flying through open skies, speaking with someone long gone, or traversing landscapes that defy reality may feel absurd, yet each experience strengthens creativity, emotional awareness, and adaptive thinking. By imagining scenarios your waking mind would reject, the subconscious expands your capacity for empathy, problem-solving, and resilience. It's practice for life, unfolding quietly, without pressure, in the soft theatre of sleep. Dreams also cultivate emotional release. Frustration, tension, or worry can be expressed and resolved in symbolic form, allowing balance to return. Even dreams that provoke fear or discomfort are ultimately constructive. They simulate challenge, test responses, and offer closure in a gentle, consequence-free space. Your subconscious guides you toward integration and harmony, showing that every feeling has a place, every experience can be understood, and every fear can be faced safely. And the most subtle beauty of this process, it happens invisibly. Your mind orchestrates these nightly exercises with patience, intelligence, and care, all while your body rests. Every dream, every scene, every emotion contributes to a quiet recalibration, preparing you to face the day with renewed clarity, creativity, and calm. Sleep is not escape, it is guidance, a patient mentor that moves through your inner world with quiet wisdom, shaping understanding and emotional resilience in ways waking life rarely allows. Within the quiet of sleep, your mind works with memories like a patient artisan, weaving invisible threads that connect past experiences with present understanding. Dreams provide a unique lens, allowing fragments of forgotten moments, fleeting emotions, and distant sensations to resurface, often in surprising and poetic ways. A childhood playground may merge with a city you've never visited, or a voice long silenced might speak to you again. These threads are not random. They are deliberate connections that help integrate experiences, deepen understanding, and shape perception. The process is subtle. Dreams do not shout their lessons, they whisper. A repeated image, a sudden shift in scenery, or an unexpected encounter can carry significance beyond its literal content. Your brain uses metaphor and sensation, crafting narratives that explore themes of love, loss, curiosity, and fear. Over time, these recurring motifs create a framework for emotional intelligence, allowing the subconscious to process complex feelings and unresolved events without the urgency or limitation of conscious thought. Even the surreal elements of dreams serve a purpose. Impossible landscapes, fantastical creatures, and unusual sequences encourage flexible thinking and creativity. By imagining scenarios the conscious mind would normally reject, the brain strengthens connections between ideas, problems, and emotions. This nightly practice fosters resilience and adaptability, quietly preparing you to respond more effectively in waking life. Dreams also allow for reconciliation. Conflicts, regrets, and anxieties can be explored in symbolic form, creating a safe space for processing. The mind experiments, tries different approaches, and practices closure, all without risk. These nightly rehearsals leave traces in your waking consciousness, moments of insight, flashes of clarity, or gentle emotional release. The invisible threads that dreams weave become subtle guides, helping you navigate the complexities of daily life with grace and awareness. And the quiet miracle of it all? You're never truly passive. Even as you rest, your mind actively shapes, repairs, and connects, working with patience and precision. Each dream, no matter how brief or strange, contributes to a larger tapestry of understanding, growth, and emotional balance. Sleep is a master weaver, and you are both its canvas and its apprentice, carrying the lessons forward with every waking breath. Sleep turns your mind into a quiet classroom, and your subconscious becomes a patient teacher. There are no lectures, no pressure, no rigid lessons, only gentle guidance woven through images, sensations, and stories. Dreams act as exercises in awareness, reflection, and emotional navigation, showing you possibilities you might overlook while awake. The beauty of this guidance is that it's subtle. It never demands, only suggests. In dreams, conflicts are rehearsed safely. Difficult emotions, anger, fear, sadness, appear in symbolic forms, allowing you to face and process them without risk. A conversation that never happened may unfold perfectly, or a challenge that feels insurmountable in waking life can be experienced, explored, and resolved. Your subconscious uses this space to teach resilience, patience, and understanding, helping you integrate lessons into your waking self with quiet precision. Even fantastical dreams carry meaning. Flying through impossible skies, wandering surreal landscapes, or meeting creatures that defy reality all serve as exercises in creativity and problem-solving. The subconscious encourages flexible thinking, showing you how to navigate unfamiliar scenarios and adapt to challenges with calm and curiosity. Each dream, no matter how strange or abstract, contributes to cognitive and emotional growth. Patterns often emerge. Recurring symbols, repeated settings, or familiar faces hint at themes your mind wants you to explore. Recognizing these patterns strengthens self-awareness and provides insight into emotions or experiences you may have ignored. Dreams are a mirror, reflecting both what you know and what your mind is still discovering about itself. And the quietest wonder of all is that you don't have to actively participate to benefit. Simply allowing yourself to sleep, to dream, and to experience the flow of subconscious guidance is enough. Each night, your mind works tirelessly, offering lessons without force, teaching without words, and guiding without pressure. Sleep becomes a sanctuary, a place where you're both student and observer, gently learning the rhythms, patterns, and wisdom of your own inner world. Dreams are like secret landscapes that stretch endlessly beyond the boundaries of waking reality. In sleep, time bends, space folds, and imagination flows without constraint. Every night, your mind builds worlds that are simultaneously familiar and entirely new, combining fragments of memory, emotion, and creativity into infinite possibilities. A street from your childhood may merge with an alien landscape, a familiar voice may speak in riddles, and impossible journeys unfold as though guided by some gentle, unseen hand. These worlds are not chaotic. They are carefully orchestrated by your subconscious, teaching, reflecting, and processing in ways your conscious mind cannot. Within these endless horizons, the mind experiments. Emotions are explored safely. Fear can be felt without danger. Joy can be amplified without limitation, and longing can be experienced without consequence. Conflicts from the day, the week, or even years past may appear symbolically, allowing the subconscious to examine and integrate them. In this process, your brain is quietly learning, building emotional resilience, testing problem-solving strategies, and rehearsing scenarios that prepare you for life's unpredictability. Every image, every sensation, every fragment of narrative contributes to this internal growth. Dreams are also laboratories for creativity. They combine memory and imagination, allowing connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. The mind experiments freely, improvising, constructing, and deconstructing experiences in a fluid, consequence-free environment. An impossible landscape, a sudden transformation, or an encounter with a mythical creature may feel absurd in the moment, but these experiences strengthen neural pathways and expand the capacity for empathy, insight, and innovative thinking. Each night the brain is refining itself, silently, patiently as you rest. Even recurring dreams or motifs hold subtle guidance. The subconscious may repeat symbols, settings, or characters to draw attention to unresolved emotions or recurring challenges. Recognizing these patterns provides clarity and self-awareness over time. Dreams are both mirrors and maps. They reflect your internal state while guiding you toward understanding, balance, and growth. And the most profound truth of all? You don't need to analyze, control, or manipulate the process. Simply allowing yourself to dream, to rest, and to float through these infinite horizons is enough. The mind works tirelessly, crafting, repairing, and exploring. By morning, the lessons remain subtly embedded, offering insight, calm, and inspiration. Sleep, and the dreams it brings, is a gentle teacher, a patient architect, and a tireless guide. Always present, always working, always expanding the horizons of who you are and who you might become. Sleep is a quiet symphony, composed not of notes and instruments, but of thoughts, emotions, and memories moving in subtle harmony. While the body rests, the mind orchestrates intricate patterns, weaving experiences from the day, fragments of memory from the past, and threads of imagination into a flowing narrative that is both therapeutic and instructive. Dreams are the melodies of this symphony, sometimes gentle, sometimes chaotic, but always purposeful. Each scene, image, or sensation contributes to the overall composition, creating a balance that is felt more than understood. In this silent performance, the subconscious acts as both composer and conductor. It arranges events and emotions in ways that help you process experiences without conscious effort. Challenges you face in waking life, fear, uncertainty, or conflict may appear in symbolic form, allowing rehearsal, reflection, and release. A nightmare might confront a hidden anxiety, a fantastical dream might expand creative potential, and a recurring motif might gently call attention to unresolved feelings. All of these elements work together in a delicate harmony, ensuring emotional and cognitive growth even in the quietest of nights. Dreams also provide a playground for exploration. Impossible landscapes, improbable interactions, and scenarios that defy logic allow the mind to push boundaries safely. Flying over mountains that shimmer with impossible colors, speaking to beings who exist only in imagination, or walking through cities that transform with every step. These experiences cultivate creativity, resilience, and adaptability. In essence, dreams train the mind in the art of possibility, showing that there is more than one way to perceive and navigate reality. Moreover, sleep helps weave together the emotional and intellectual aspects of experience. Memories are organized, lessons from the day are integrated, and emotional tension is eased. The mind tests hypotheses, rehearses solutions, and prepares strategies, all in a calm, consequence-free environment. Even fleeting, seemingly trivial dreams leave subtle traces, influencing intuition, decision-making, and emotional awareness in waking life. And the most profound part of this silent symphony? You are not passive. By surrendering to sleep, by allowing yourself to enter this nightly performance, you participate in a process of subtle self-education. Every dream, every feeling, every image contributes to understanding, creativity, and emotional balance. The mind, quietly and patiently, nurtures growth, resilience, and insight. Sleep is not a pause, it is an intricate, ongoing composition, a symphony that plays for you every night, guiding, healing, and expanding the contours of your inner world. Dreams are like an infinite canvas stretched across the mind, where colors, textures, and forms emerge from memory, imagination, and emotion. Each night, this canvas is repainted in new patterns, blending fragments of past experiences with fantasies yet to be imagined. Faces of people long forgotten may appear beside landscapes you've never visited, and impossible architectures rise effortlessly from the depths of subconscious thought. The beauty of this canvas is that it has no boundaries. Every night, the mind explores possibilities that would be impossible in waking life, creating a rich tapestry that is both personal and universal. On this canvas, emotions are painted in subtle shades. Fear may take on the form of a shifting shadow. Joy might appear as sunlight spilling across a dreamscape, and longing can ripple like water through a landscape that exists only in your mind. Dreams provide a safe space for these emotions to be expressed fully, without consequence or judgment. The subconscious uses these experiences to process, integrate, and balance feelings, allowing the mind to release tension and prepare for the challenges of waking life. Even the most fantastical dreams serve purpose. You might soar through impossible skies, converse with beings who exist only in imagination, or explore cities that shift and transform with every step. These experiences cultivate creativity, adaptability, and insight, training the mind to think beyond limitations and embrace new perspectives. The subconscious carefully crafts these scenarios, testing reactions and exploring possibilities while you remain gently suspended in sleep. Patterns often emerge on this infinite canvas. Recurring motifs, repeated scenarios, and familiar characters are subtle nudges, guiding you to examine unresolved emotions, lessons not fully absorbed, or ideas that need attention. The mind weaves these threads intentionally, offering insight and awareness that may not be immediately recognizable upon waking. Over time, recognizing these patterns builds self-understanding, emotional resilience, and a deeper connection with your inner world. And the most remarkable aspect, you don't need to actively engage to benefit. By allowing yourself to rest and dream, your mind works tirelessly, creating, integrating, and exploring with patience and precision. Each dream is a brushstroke, each emotion a hue, contributing to a living masterpiece that continuously evolves. Sleep, and the dreams it brings, is a patient teacher, an artist, and a guide. A process that shapes thought, feeling, and imagination in quiet, profound ways. It reminds you that even in stillness, Creation is happening, endlessly, invisibly, and beautifully. Sleep is a journey without a map, a passage through landscapes both familiar and unimaginable. Within this timeless voyage, your mind moves fluidly between past, present, and possibility, exploring the contours of thought and emotion without restriction. Each night, the subconscious guides you along unseen paths, blending memory, imagination, and sensation into experiences that are simultaneously restorative and instructive. In this space, time is flexible, moments stretch, collapse, and loop in ways that defy the waking world, creating a rhythm unique to your inner life. During this journey, dreams act as guides, subtle and patient. They replay experiences from the day, revisit long-forgotten memories, and present imagined scenarios that test reactions and explore emotional landscapes. Recurring motifs and familiar faces appear to teach lessons or highlight unresolved themes. Even the bizarre and surreal elements carry meaning. A staircase that leads nowhere, a sudden flight across an impossible city, or a conversation with someone no longer present all serve as opportunities for reflection, problem-solving, and emotional integration. The subconscious uses these experiences to strengthen resilience, build insight, and foster a deeper understanding of self. Dreams also cultivate creativity and flexibility. By allowing impossible events to unfold naturally, floating over shimmering oceans, interacting with creatures born purely from imagination, or walking through morphing landscapes, the mind learns to navigate uncertainty and adapt to new challenges. These nightly rehearsals encourage innovative thinking and enhance emotional awareness, providing tools for waking life that are subtle yet powerful. The mind is quietly training itself, experimenting safely, and exploring possibilities that the conscious self may never entertain. Emotional balance is another gift of this timeless journey. Anxiety, regret, or fear may surface in symbolic form, allowing expression and resolution without consequence. Joy, wonder, and curiosity are amplified, creating a sense of emotional richness and equilibrium. The subconscious integrates these experiences, weaving them into the mind's larger narrative, ensuring that each awakening brings not only rest but subtle growth. Over time, the patterns of dreams, the symbols, and the repeated lessons become a framework for self-awareness, helping you navigate life with more patience, empathy, and insight. And perhaps the most extraordinary part, you don't need to control any of it. By surrendering to sleep, by trusting the process, you participate in a natural, continuous education of the mind. The subconscious works tirelessly, guiding, teaching, and repairing with infinite patience. Every dream, every image, every emotion contributes to this ongoing journey, leaving you enriched and prepared, carrying fragments of nocturnal wisdom into the day. Sleep is not mere rest. It is a timeless journey, a gentle expedition through the landscapes of thought, feeling, and imagination, quietly shaping who you are and who you can become. Beneath the calm surface of sleep, hidden currents flow tirelessly, connecting memories, emotions, and imagination in ways the conscious mind rarely perceives. These currents are subtle, yet powerful, shaping understanding, intuition, and emotional balance as they move through the quiet night. Dreams are the visible expression of these currents, surfacing as images, sensations, and narratives that guide, reflect, and teach. Each dream is a gentle ripple in a vast unseen ocean, carrying information and insight with quiet precision. In this flowing landscape, the subconscious works like a patient navigator, steering the mind through challenges, possibilities, and unresolved feelings. Recurring dreams, repeated motifs, or even fleeting symbols are intentional markers pointing toward emotional truths, hidden patterns, or lessons not fully absorbed. A conversation that never happened, a place that exists only in imagination, or an impossible event serves as an exercise in emotional processing, problem-solving, and creativity. Through these experiences, the mind rehearses, reflects, and integrates, building a foundation for balance and understanding in waking life. Fantastical dreams, where reality bends and logic dissolves, are no less meaningful. Flying over surreal landscapes, meeting imagined beings, or navigating impossible architecture allows the mind to explore flexibility, empathy, and innovation. By embracing scenarios the conscious self would normally reject, the subconscious strengthens resilience and cultivates adaptive thinking. Each night becomes a laboratory of possibility, where the mind quietly experiments, observes, and learns without pressure or consequence. Even the smallest details in dreams carry significance. A subtle colour, a fleeting sound, or a transient sensation may illuminate hidden truths, evoke deep emotion, or spark creative insight. Over time, these small ripples accumulate, weaving a network of awareness that guides decisions, perspectives, and emotional responses in waking life. The subconscious orchestrates these currents with patience, precision, and care, ensuring that every night contributes to personal growth and understanding. And the most profound beauty of these hidden currents, you don't need to consciously direct them. By simply resting, by surrendering to sleep and allowing dreams to unfold, you participate in this silent, intricate process. The mind moves through its invisible rivers of thought, memory, and feeling, repairing, teaching, and expanding continuously. Every dream, every symbol, every emotional nuance contributes to a living, evolving system of understanding. Sleep is not mere stillness. It is an ongoing flow, a patient, subtle guidance, and a masterful orchestration of the subconscious, shaping who you are and who you can become in ways both gentle and profound. The final moments of sleep are a quiet, tender conclusion to the mind's nocturnal journey. As the night moves toward morning, the subconscious begins to slow its currents, gradually integrating the lessons, reflections, and experiences of the hours past. Dreams may fade, but the echoes of insight, creativity, and emotional balance remain, leaving traces that ripple gently into waking life. This closure is as intentional as the rest of the night. It ensures that the mind awakens not only rested but subtly enriched, carrying wisdom gained without effort or awareness. During these final hours, unresolved emotions may reach a soft resolution. Anxiety can dissipate like mist in sunlight. Joy may linger in hidden corners of the mind, and insight may settle quietly into understanding. Even fleeting images, nonsensical sequences, or surreal adventures contribute to a gentle harmonization of thought and feeling. Your brain, like a patient curator, organizes, processes, and preserves, leaving you equipped for the challenges, creativity, and interactions of the day to come. The beauty of this gentle closure is in its effortless grace. You do not need to analyze or act. Simply allowing yourself to flow through the cycles of sleep, to witness and experience dreams, provides all that is required. The subconscious guides, teaches, and nurtures with infinite patience, ensuring that each night ends not with abruptness, but with continuity, a seamless bridge from the world of dreams to the world of waking. And as your eyes finally open, bringing consciousness back into the day, the quiet lessons of night linger. You carry fragments of creativity, perspective, an emotional balance with you. Moments of clarity, sparks of imagination, and a calm sense of presence are the subtle gifts of this gentle journey. Sleep has done its work, repairing, reflecting, and nurturing, all in silence and stillness. So, as the night draws to an end, allow yourself gratitude for this ongoing invisible process. The wisdom of dreams, the guidance of the subconscious, and the quiet flow of rest are always present, waiting to shape your mind, heart, and spirit. And now, with the world awakening around you, it's time to rise gently, carrying with you the soft, profound teachings of the night. Good night, and may your dreams always guide you with patience, creativity, and calm.